Hello everybody and welcome back to the Ōkami walkthrough. We're still in Lechku Shrine, but don't worry, we are very nearly done. This is the last part we're going to be spending here, because it's time to take on the twin demons, Lechku and Nechku, and make them suffer for everything they did to Shiranui. Because, I mean, we can't let that slide. Hell no. Now this is our final resting spot. Before then, you've got two chests, you've got these kind of pots that you can deal with. There's the imp merchant, who obviously we have dealt with. There's the save mirror, there's the golden gate. Though why you'd need the golden gate when there's a save mirror, I don't know, but either way, hello Ōki! Lovely to see you, mate. Though I don't quite know how you managed to get here, considering you were all the way back with Shiranui when we left you, and there was no way in which you could overtake us. But whatever, I will live and make do. Well, of course, they're just at the top of this tower, so let's rumble. Now, I have a quick note about the boss arena here, just whilst we get flung into the battle. So there's just a sketch of the ideas and structure of the boss room, but what's quite important is that the game's camera was taken into account when designing this structure. So it's just meant for when the angle of view would be pretty steep. Basically, the camera can sit in the moat that kind of surrounds the area, which is a very helpful thing. Otherwise, this would be pretty goddamn annoying, because you wouldn't be able to see half of what you were meaning to do. But yeah, those guys are not getting away again. We are going to trash the living hell out of them. And so begins our fight with the twin demons. This is going to go well. They're not too difficult to deal with in the grand scheme of things. In fact, it's pretty straightforward. You face most of these challenges before. They're just kind of all flung together and you have two enemies to deal with instead. So I suppose I should probably go into all of their different moves just to make this simple for you. So they have the giant bud, which obviously you just saw there. Very simple to deal with, you just bloom it. You have the egg-like objects that gets thrown at you, just power slash that to destroy it. And then that will actually stun the enemy that you're dealing with. You have the cursed fruit getting thrown at you, once again power slash to reflect it, and then there is the bomb. Basically you just kind of firestorm slash inferno those to blow up and harm the demon that summoned it. You also have the ability to use the lightning to attack the 9 strike whenever they fling up a sword of any description. So it's basically all of the different bosses all flung into one in a way, which is quite nice because it's a fitting way to end our final dungeon, really. And basically once one of the demons is stunned, Ōki will go and do this, and then you fling Ōki at him, then use any sort of move to bring the guy down, and then you can just wail on them, which is really awesome. Now, what is important to note, apparently, is if Amatersau uses a technique while the demon is knocked down, then its element must match that of the brushstroke she used to knock the demon down earlier. So, if Ice Storm or Blizzard is used to knock the enemy down, then only the same technique can be used to safely damage the demon. Otherwise, it'll spring right up, and yeah. Obviously, each demon has its own health bar, so you've got to deal with that. But the thing is that really this isn't going to take you all that long, because it's not the most difficult boss fight in the world. That said, I do find it quite fun, although it is mostly just kind of running about, more than anything, and reflecting. And you have to have Ōkami do quite a lot of the attacking for you. But despite that, it is still a really fun fight, and very satisfying. And fun fact, this is actually the only boss fight that you won't be redoing in the entire game, which is wonderful, because I think it'd drive me nuts. But obviously, because we had to redo the Yamata no Orochi fight twice, we basically had to redo the Spider Queen boss fight multiple times because of the bandit spiders. And yeah, there's just a general lot of repetition, so it's nice to have these guys not be that repetitious, though obviously you do have to face down Nechku before you actually get to the proper boss fight, but it's not a full fight, so it's not really completely repetitious. Now obviously, for the love of God, do not get caught in their claws, because that is going to hurt very, very badly. Now, Veil of Mist is obviously quite useful for this attack, and it's something that I don't think the Ōkami wiki actually brought up, which I'm finding rather amusing. Obviously, it doesn't matter what you're doing, but Veil of Mist is always a helpful technique, no matter what you're facing, so why the hell wouldn't you make use of it? But also there's something that's really quite awesome, and it's to do with the order in which you defeat the demons. Basically, the cutscene that plays afterwards, which you will be seeing shortly, varies depending on which one you defeat first. So if you defeat Lechku first, then Nechku will crash into Lechku. If it's the other way around, then Lechku will crash into Nechku. I hope you understood what I just said there, because I don't know whether I did. And yes, that's what happens when you get caught by that attack. Don't let it happen, because obviously it's not pretty. But I believe that this should potentially be our final attack. Okay, never mind. One more round, and that'll be it. And then we will have had our revenge! Hell yes! Okay, I think that'll about do it. The twin demons which had suddenly awoken atop Ezofuji and tried to lay waste to the land of Kamui were defeated. They disappeared in a burst of petals thanks to Ōkami and Amaterasu. However, a giant cloud black as night cast a shadow on the scene. Blight, Ninetailed, the twin demons Lechku and Nechku. The souls of each were swept into the cloud as it moved. It drifted toward the Ark of Yamato at the bottom of Loki Lake. The Ark of Yamato is beckoning all of the world's darkness within. Tuskull's words echoed ominously, awakening Amaterasu's heart. All the sacrifices, all the life lost in the name of God. Was it all in vain? Shiranui, Amaterasu's 100-year-old incarnation, was fatigued and exhausted by the intense battle. However, when Shiranui noticed the glow of Oki's sword Kotone, a sly smile seemed to crease the wolf's tired lips. Satisfied with this bright glimmer of hope, Shiranui struggled to rise and put every last ounce of strength into passing through Ishaku's gate, back in time, back home. As Amaterasu and Issun looked on, they were fully aware that Shiranui headed back into the face of danger, to the battle with Orochi. After saving Nagi from the clutches of death and aiding them in their own quest, Shiranui would die a hero, marking the beginning of the legend of Orochi. As Ishaku left the scene, his eyes betrayed the sort of toughness one exhibits when preparing for a grave event. And as a reward, we get a sun fragment! Hell yes! And because of that, we are at full health entirely. Brilliant. Obviously that's a slight bit of emotional dissonance considering what's just happened, but either way, we defeated the twin demons! Woo woo! We rock. But yes, let's save and see where the plot takes us.